Okay, so I'm recording this presentation in the spring 2026 semester. Unfortunately, I'm fighting a nasty stomach bug, so instead of sharing it with all of you, I'm gonna give this presentation via Zoom, and you can kind of watch it back later. The slides that I'm going to be going through are located here under our class Moodle. So you're going to go down to the lighting tab because that's what we're starting in on this week. This is the lecture. And then I'm going to make some follow-up videos to also go over how to put in ceilings. There's some older ones here in this playlist, but I'm going to make you a new one for this year just to kind of make it a bit more streamlined. All right, so let me just work our way through this lecture just so you have a good entry point for this. So again, you can bring it up on your own kind of as we follow along and put your own notes in. But it's mostly I just wanted to be able to share with you some visuals to give you some ideas for this first project. And we're going to be talking about this a lot more in the final project. Like Anthony and I will have additional requirements for them and also aesthetic things that we want you to add. So this is the beginning steps of that. All right, so in Revit, there are three types of ceiling that are already preloaded. So flat ceilings up in the top left, these are the ones that are typical to those of you in homes where it's made out of gypsum board, so the same material as your wall. In commercial buildings, usually that's metal studs, and then they put gypsum board as the interior finish. Then the other two categories on the top right and the bottom left are what's called drop ceilings. So the one on the top right is what we have in our classroom. That's a 2x4 ACT. So that's called an acoustic ceiling tile system. It's hung by grids. We're going to talk about a lot of this in materials class too, because we'll have a whole lecture on ceilings also. And then they can also come in 2x2 sizes. That's the standard ones that Revit has preloaded. There are actually variations on this that are getting really popular because as you've seen in carpets, like the plank shapes, like the long thin triangles are really popular. And so that's actually coming into the industry too. And I will give you links for that for our final projects also. Then what we're going to do together, hopefully if I'm back in the classroom Thursday, is I'm going to show you how to make custom ceilings. So that's when we have things like a cove ceiling, arches, baffles or stuff that we're going to put in our final project. So we'll kind of talk about it and introduce it here. So again, if you're looking around where you live, your ceilings are typically flat in most of your rooms. But an example like this picture is what's showing uh, a ceiling made out of gypsum board. So again, in a home, it might be flat, but you also might have this kind of extra kind of bump outs going on. This, whether it's just flat and plain or it has kind of this extra aesthetic stuff going on, is the most expensive option. So this is why for most of your offices, you're not going to see this kind of ceiling used typically throughout. It's often going to be used in your entry lobbyway, like the picture here, or in a conference room, because again, they're going to spend extra money to make this area special. So when you do your homework this week, you're going to leave either your lobby area or your conference room empty for now, and we're going to build this kind of ceiling system together. All right, so 2x2 ceilings, these are slightly more than the 2x4. But this is a good size to use for your bathrooms and maybe like your smaller break rooms and things like that, because again, they're smaller areas, so you're gonna have less kind of weird cuts because of the math of it. You can also get ones that look like tin ceilings, like you can get a lot of nice aesthetics out of a 2x2. And in this example here, you can see that they've used black ceiling tiles that also kind of have this like grooved edges to it also. And then there's also going to be links in here. So if you want to, for your final, go back and grab some of these. A lot of these companies do have Revit files for us too. This one here is showing you that, all right, so this kind of light that basically sits into this system is called a troffer light. So they make them in 2x2s. They make them in 2x4s. Revit has a lot of these preloaded too. And this is also the recessed can light over here. Revit also has those that we can use. Here's an example of where Fred and I did, this is a drop ceiling that's a 2x4, but it's hard to see. Let me see if I have little arrows. Let me go back. Oh, let me go back there. Okay, so the kind of the thin rectangles you see in the squares, those are actually also a troffer light, but what they do is they are embedded in the hanging system. So instead of having like the metal rods there, the light it goes in like that track part. So there are still kind of considered a track light, but they're a nice way to kind of break up the very kind of typical sort of look that we have in our classroom to make it just a little bit more high end looking. All right, so drop ceilings, these are the 2x4s. So we've looked at these already and talked about they can come in other sizes and shapes. This is going to save you a lot of money too. The material that they use in both of these styles, the ACTs, are an acoustical material, so it also helps absorb the sound. So it makes it like a big open office like this, less noisy. And there's going to be lots of lighting options of what fits into this like grid system here too. So here's some examples of these are all considered those like ACT track systems, but you can see that you can cut them in lots of funky shapes. You can have them in really high-end materials like wood or laminate to look like wood. You can have all these kind of colors like the one on the left. So as much as like we're used to seeing them in like schools and hospitals, there's a lot more upscale options you can have for this too. Um, this is a new product coming out of Armstrong where it's triangles. So again, like they're playing a lot with what the grid systems look like, where, for a long time it was just these 2x4s and 2x2s, but now there's a lot more options coming out in the market. All right, so we're going to explore this a lot more as we get into the final project. What's happening here is there's an exposed ceiling. So if you think about like the classrooms in the ADB building, and then what they're doing is they're hanging something below that. So these things are called baffles, and they're basically kind of camouflaging all the mechanicals that are going on above in the space. They also help absorb sound because like this example right here, this Arctura company, this is made out of felt. So it's really great at absorbing sound in these big, large kind of spaces. And especially this space, if you look at, there's like the hard glass of the exterior walls, there's concrete floor, there's brick on the right there. So there's a lot of like hardscaping in here that sounds really going to bounce off of. So a baffle like this is going to do a great job of just lessening the sound level in there. All right, so the type of lighting, when you go online to start finding something a little bit fancier for some of like your office or your lobby area, we're going to kind of talk about the different variations here. So a lot of times it's defined by what direction the light's going into, but also how it's attached. Is it attached to the ceiling? Is it recessed in the ceiling, meaning going into it? Is it attached to the wall? So that's a wall sconce. And sometimes it's based on the task itself. So task lighting would be like a desk lamp. So some of you have downloaded, say, maybe steel case groupings that have like a light built into the desk. That would be a task light. Here's a really good just diagram of these different types here. Keep this in mind when you go online. I'm going to share with you a link of lots of different Revit files you can get. You can also get them from BIM too. Like I said, Revit has them already loaded also, but just so you start to know some of the names of these. And again, you're going to have a whole lighting class next semester that will drill down into this a lot more. All right, another picture just to kind of indicate the direction of the light and how to think about that. If you think about offices, something like a semi-direct, the ones in the middle there, are really good because it helps to have light bounce off the ceiling and then come down to you. That helps kind of soften the light and not make you feel like you're in a spotlight. It also gives you less glare at a computer. So these semi-direct lights are very popular in offices, and a lot of times you'll see them in kind of like these tube shapes or kind of these hanging rectangles because they do a nice job of generally illuminating the area, but giving you a decent amount of light at the surface that you're working on, but without having it feel like a big giant spotlight of like a direct light that's on the far left. All right, so again, we're going to kind of go over some of the needs for you commercial spaces. This is also something I'm going to remind you of when we get to the final project. But right now is like, so some of the things to keep in mind are recessed and track lightings. Again, Revit has files for these too. We have pendant lights. So pendant just means it hangs down. So it doesn't actually mean it's like a fancy formal chandelier. Like this Y-shaped one is a pendant light. So this is kind of a fun look for an office here. And then task lighting. They have these like little desk lamps kind of sitting there on the surface. All right, so same idea for a conference room here. So up over there, that's actually probably a recessed lighting or an LED strip lighting. So prior to all the technology jumps in LEDs, you would often have actually the long tube lights here, and you would kind of hide it with sort of a shelf system. Now with LEDs, you can do some really nice stuff without having to build out a lot of like the shelf that you see there that would hold the light. Um, this is a direct pendant light, so this is hanging down and putting direct light right on the table there because you can see it's not shining off from the top of it, just the bottom. But that's good for, meetings and things like that too. Also, let me go back in that first one also probably is dimmable because so keep that in mind for conference rooms. You want to be able to dim the lights. So again, here's another example of a conference room meeting space. So again, they have the LED strip lighting around this kind of cove area here. Then there is also recessed can lights. Those are probably on a dimmer because, again, you can dim them and still have ambient light so people can come in and sit down safely. And you might still have a presentation on like the far wall or the wall that's behind us. All right, so for your lobby, this is where you're going to spend probably the most money here in your conference meeting room because, again, you want to not only light it up well, but you want to make a really good design impression on the folks coming in too. So in this case, they have track lighting here that's kind of giving lighting for the person working at the reception desk. But then you have this like accent pendant lights. So again, they're playing off the circular motif that you see in like the cutout behind them. And again, that's part of the design element too. So keep that in mind. And they also still, and actually over in that corner, that's one of the ACT systems. So it looks like a 2x2 grid, well, maybe a 2x4 grid. And then they have recessed cans in there also. So there's a combination of things happening in the ceiling. They have exposed ceiling, and then they also have along the perimeter this like the ACT grid there. All right, so for your conference room or lobby, so this is what I want you to think about between now and Thursday. You only have to do it for project one in one area. So think about where you might want to have something like a specialty ceiling happening either in your lobby or your conference room. You can do it in both if you want to. But here's what you're going to be thinking about. Again, you're going to be spending more money in there to impress your clients. You obviously want to add some like drama and design elements to it. It's also going to help with the acoustics to just make it a little less loud and have sound bouncing around. And having things like dimmable lights obviously are going to help with presentations when you want to have something up on a big screen and you want to be able to make the room dark so you can view it better. And so this is again just some pictures of examples of what we call cove ceilings, where we have this change in height between either the inner square or in the outer square there. And there's going to be variations of that. So let's see, let me go back here. So this one, the cove is obviously going upwards and the perimeter is coming down. This is one that Fred did in a conference room where it's a curve. And again, it's a really nice finish up above. So that's making this like kind of like modern arch. And then I believe there's like track lighting down the middle, but we also see in here there's like some wall sconces too. And then the screen at the end of the table there too. Here's a circle. So again, if you have a company that has this like circular motif, you can kind of play that off. So it's happening in the ceiling, but then you're seeing in like the furniture and the shapes of the table below too. In this picture too, there's a nice example of those kind of like skinny lighting fixtures that are really popular now to put in ACT ceilings too. Here's another one. So this is an actual photo of the entry space to the Park South. So Fred and I did this part. This is the part I think I've been joking with you about all the mechanical stuff from like Bellini's spoon counter and stuff kept changing this design. So we actually had a much narrower kind of border around it. But then we found out on the right there, they needed like a good foot or more to like run an exhaust pipe out to basically the exterior wall to get all the food exhaust out. So like literally like last minute in a meeting, we made all these changes, but like the design was still basically the same. We have a big pendant light that's there kind of more just for the drama of the space. If you can see like within the square there is LED lights that are giving us a glow to that area. And then along the far right and left walls, we have what's called wall washers, because that's just kind of to like highlight some of the art there that's on the wall too. All right, so where are you going to find these lights? I'm going to send you another video that will kind of walk you through this too. but we're going to have lights that are native to the Revit library, and they keep adding more and more every year. Know though that these are like generic lights. So eventually in the real world, you're going to go out and get actual Revit lighting files from the real manufacturer. You're going to do a lot of projects with Anthony and his lighting class like that. So we can find them through the BIM objects database. We can find them at lighting manufacturers. Um, there is an old LED strip Revit file that we used to use. It was kind of a hack, but last year we found out that Revit itself had sort of some better ones. So let me just kind of close this up and I'll show you where those links are on the Moodle. So if you go back to the Moodle, and if you go over here, oh, wait till it disappears there for you. So you're going to go to the lighting toggle. So here's the lecture right here. Here's the playlist. But like I said, I'm going to hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning make you a video that streamlines this because some of these are really long. Here's the lighting manufacturers list right here. So again, don't jump ahead to this. We'll do this together Thursday. But if you click on this guy, this is where you're going to find a Google Docs file with a whole list of lighting manufacturers. The nice thing is over the years, between myself and Anthony and other students, we just keep adding to it. So as we find more and more ones that just like play nicely, in a good way, you're going to be able to find lots more online too, probably. So as you find some, give us a heads up. Happy to add it here. Sometimes in the past, we hit some companies that weren't always, didn't always turn on, which is obviously a big frustration. So, most of these are ones that we have learned over the years are reliable and work for us well. So that's going to be your starting for this week. And like I said, I will make 2 other help videos to kind of get y'all started on your own. And then we'll pull this all together on Thursday's class and make kind of fancier lighting systems for either our lobby and or our conference room.